Guys, today's tutorial is going to be how to make this Unicorn Burst Tumbler with CrystaLac products. I used all CrystaLac for this except for the white part on the top and bottom is spray paint, but everything else is CrystaLac, and it was super easy and fun to make. So let's get into it. So I am using the CrystaLac Universal White. Make sure you stir it up really well before you use it. I'm using these little condiment cups that I will link in the description box below. They have caps so I can save the paint for another time. And then I'm using primary colors, so red, yellow, and blue pigments. And you'll see right here, I put in way too much red, like way too much. And when I stir it, it's just a really dark pink, and that's not what I was going for. So I added some more universal white back in to lighten it up because I just wanted a very light pink for this unicorn burst. And then I did 1 drop of yellow to get a super light yellow and 1 drop of blue. Mix them well so they're all combined. If you do save them and use them at a later time, you will need to re-stir them and mix them up. So my cup has been prepped, and I used spray paint for this, but you could totally use universal white. Just make sure if you use spray paint, you let it dry at least 48 hours. So I just started with pink and brushed it in a diagonal pattern. You don't need to go all the way to the top and the bottom because you're going to paint over the top and bottom anyway, so there's no reason to take it as far. So then I moved to my second color, and I'm using yellow, and I'm just trying to get the yellow on. I'm not worried about blending them quite yet. I'm just painting on each color next to each other. I don't love these brushes, but they're fine. And I did mess up a little bit. It's okay if it's not perfect. But I just went through and had an even amount of every color. So I think I did two strokes of each color. And once I had each color on, it was time to blend. So I started by blending with these brushes that I just said I didn't like. But I went in with the pink and sort of went over, like where they overlap, into the blue a little bit. Took a different brush, grabbed some blue, and worked my way over to the pink. And I just kept doing that until I was happy with how they were blending. Again, these brushes aren't my favorite, so these are just like from the craft store. But you just keep going back and forth until you're happy with the blend. What I do recommend is these Wet n Wild brushes from either the Dollar Tree or Amazon. They help the paint blend so much. So you can see I started with blue, I went in with some yellow, and then I went back in with some blue, and I was done. It was much faster to use these Wet n Wild brushes. I highly recommend them. I'll link them down below from Amazon, but you can also snag some at the Dollar Tree. So I let this dry for at least 4 hours, and then I spray painted the top edge and the bottom edge. Just remember, after you spray paint, you need to wait 48 hours. I wanted it to ombre a little bit, so here's what it looks like after the spray paint. And then I actually tried to do the Galaxy liquid mica on top, and you can kind of see it, but I was not liking the look, so I changed my mind. I'm using Chunky Anna and Fine Anna. Those are matching glitters, and then I'm using like a super fine white called Souls, and all 3 are from Painted Valley Designs. So I like to still apply my glitter with bright tone. I'm just used to it, so I brush on my bright tone all around the cup, and I started in the middle, right? The whole point of this is to sort of burst, and I started with my chunky glitter. So what I like to do with my chunky is sprinkle it on with my hands so I can have more control and get it to lay as flat as possible. So I just went through the middle and sprinkled on the chunky first. It wasn't perfect, and I think that's the beauty about these cups is that each one is going to be a little bit different. So I took my finger and tapped down the chunky because you got to get it super flat so you can use less layers in the end. So the next glitter was a matching fine glitter. So the same color, just a fine cut, and I sprinkled it both over the chunky and I ombre'd it out to where the white and the colors meet. So I wanted it to ombre just past the colored lines, but I also wanted it to fill in between the chunky glitter. I thought that this opal, it's got like purple and blue hues to it. And I'm sorry my hand is completely in the way. I thought it looked really nice over the top of this Unicorn Burst. It just matched really well in my opinion. So once I got that on, I went in with a super fine white. Any white will do, like a 0.08 or whatever would be fine. This is like almost like a dust, and I actually really like how it looks. So again, I just sprinkled it on so it could ombre into that other fine glitter and just make a nice transition where the color meets the spray paint. Don't get hung up on the exact colors that I used and the sizes. There's so many options. Any white will do, any opal type glitter. These cups are just really cute and pretty, and whatever glitter you use is fine. Once you get the glitter on, let it dry for 4 hours. After that 4 hours passes, I always brush off my excess glitter just using one of those Wet n Wild brushes. I have separate ones for that purpose. And then I'm going to use the glitter glue to seal. So I just squirt on the glue and use a damp brush to help it spread a little bit better, to get a full coverage of my cup with the glitter glue. And then I let my glitter glue dry for 1 hour, and then I roll it in parchment paper to smush it down. And then after 2 hours, I can start my layers of bright tone. I don't have all of those steps on video, but just know this is after one sand. So I did 5 coats of bright tone, and then I did a good level sand. You can see what it looks like right now, and then I added more bright tone. So then I do 3 coats and then sand, 3 coats and sand until you have a smooth surface. Once it's smooth, you can put on a vinyl decal if you want, or you can leave it as is. I think it's super cute the way it is. But make sure you wait 4 hours in between every coat of bright tone. If you need more help with the basics, I will link a playlist right now. I thought this was super, super fun to make, and I think it turned out so cute. There are so many different ways to customize these cups. Like, you could do different colors in here, different colored glitters. A lot of people are doing the Tack-it method when it comes to their glitter. If you want a Tack-it method tutorial with the CrystaLac Glitter Glue, join me in the next video. I hope you like the tutorial.